introduce your brother.
Catch them in the woods. Paralyzed tribe think the curse is all good. They shooting. Check out the news in the hood. They shooting. This for the bruise in the hood. They still wander. I can catch them in the woods. Paralyzed tribe think the curse is all good. They shooting. Check out the news in the hood. They shooting. This for the bruise in the hood.
I'd like to give our honor and praise to the Elohim, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the name is Mashiach, our high priest.
Talk to us about the beginning stages of your life. Like, take us through those stages, brother. Before you was Hebrew.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've actually, my story kind of known. I'm writing a book on it called From Vice Lord to Servant of the Lord. And, you know, it was like any other young brother coming up in the inner city in the Chi in Chicago. I mean, but I had both parents. So I got a unique situation. I can't blame it on a single mom. I just want to be a little a-hole. You know what I'm saying? All my homies was doing this, I was doing. So I say, to try to make it quick, when I was about 12 years old, I think I had to be in about 7th grade. And that puts you in about 7th grade, right? I wasn't no dummy. I ain't flunked too many times. So, yeah, that's when I got plugged. You know, I became an almighty conservative vice lord at 12 years old. And I didn't have to, because I didn't need for anything. But that's just how it was, man. You know, and so I got in there, I think I was in 7th grade. And then the first time I got shot, I was in 8th grade. Yeah, the first time I got shot with a 38 in front of the school. We was fighting the little GDs in the school, grammar school. And we in there fighting over the school. Who gonna run the school? It's on the south side of Chicago. We was serious about it though. We used to rumble them so bad. Not promote gangbang, y'all. Y'all gonna see where this get to later on. It ain't what it's cracked up to be. But you know, we used to rumble so bad that they'd go get the big folks. So they'd be waiting on us out the school. So we had to, you know, back then we had a cell phone.
Right.
And if you had a little money, you had that big brick phone, you know, that could move satellites. Yeah, so, you know, one day after school, we met up with them. We thought we was gonna rumble. One of them pulled out a pistol. One I had just stole on in school. So he came back out there with a pistol. He shot me in the pelvis with a 38. And it just went downhill from there. I just was full-fledged. You would think with most people, it'd make them turn away from that. I couldn't get enough of it.
Now these were young kids though.
He was the same age.
Around the same what age?
He was about 12, I was about 12.
And he's coming in with a pistol?
Yeah, he came back up to the school. I thought, you know, we boxed in school. I pieced him up, gave him 3-piece spices. And he ran about the building. 3-piece. And so we thinking, we getting ready. You know, we like, man, they gonna more than likely come back with some more of the folks. And we gonna do, because you know, back then you fought more than you shot.
Absolutely.
Although you did, the guns did come, but you would fight first. And we went out there, we seen about 20 of them coming. It was about a good 20 of us, and then some more brothers come around the corner, so we figured it's gonna be a rumble. And before I know it, I'm like, yeah, I'm the main one. Narrow butt, just mouth in the front. Yeah, we finna go. And some told me to turn around. I happened to turn around. I'm by myself. I'm like, where everybody go? I turned back around. He got it right there on me. I'm like, oh man, I couldn't do nothing. He shot me up, broad daylight after school. I look up with a girlfriend, whole school after my girlfriend after standing over me crying. And so when they put me up on the ambulance, I'm shot up. They put me on the ambulance. I can see down the street because the folks had a game room. So all of them is standing in front of the game room watching them put me in an ambulance. So I'm crying because I'm little. I yelled down there, I'm gonna kill all y'all when I get out. Just stupid, man. And from that, I think I got shot 3 different times after that. I got shot 3 more times after that.
Now the first brother that shot you, have you ever seen him again? Now that now that your mind had developed into more of consciousness.
Well, have I seen him since I've been in the truth?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually I bumped into him, but it was real brief because I think he winded up doing some time for either a body or attempt murder or something. Because all of them were shooting.
What was that like when y'all seen each other?
I was actually, I took it like it was part of the description. You'd have got me, I'd have got you. You know, you can't cry over split lip.
Right.
Now I say the most awkward one was I bumped into the guy who put me in a wheelchair. This is the last time I got shot. I got shot twice the last time. They followed me home. and shot me or whatever. But you know why I don't cry about it? Because that day we were actually riding around. At this time we was in war with the BDs. So we was riding around looking for some BDs to shoot because we was bored. You know, we had some 40s and some weeds. You know how it used to be. It sounds savage now, but that was, we listened to Men's Society soundtrack, Tupac. You know, that stuff do something to your psyche, right? And so we riding around that day, and it was weird because it was a nice summer day, but for some reason there was no ops out, as we call it. You see the shorties and brought that back. We were saying that in the 80s,
That's old school.
And so, we couldn't find nobody. So it just so happened, mind you, we didn't have cell phones then. We had beepers at this point, because we would sell our drugs off beepers. You know what I'm saying? And then we would have to go to the payphone, and that's how you did your transactions, right? If you wasn't doing a trap house or the block or whatever. So yeah, man, I rode past my girlfriend's house. She lived on the BD's block, and my pager started blowing up. But we don't see nobody out there, so I ain't think nothing of it. I'm like, man, y'all take me home. So to get to the chase, we pull up in front of my house, and the pistol I had, it was stash. You know how back in the day they used to hide the master touch stashes, where you could hide the little compartments hid in your car when the pistol would drop out. Right, I had this long. It was like a 44 or 45 revolver. It was the Dirty Harry joint. It was like the Joker gun. It was like, yeah, one of them, right? And so I had it stuck under my man's dashboard. We riding four a Chevy. And I got out the car and I went in the house and I forgot it. I never do it. That don't even make sense. So it was Methodist to have it. I got up to my door. My homie called and said, hey man, you know, back then I think we was calling swords. You left your sword, man. I'm like, who leaves their gun, right? So I go back down to the car, go over to the passenger side, and I'm trying to get it from under the master touch and it got stuck. And then I just heard an engine rumbling behind me. And all my guys just looked like this. And I said, man, don't tell me. And I turned around and looked, and I know who he was. It was a guy that was in an old Bronco with but they would have the T-tops. And he was hanging out the top of the T-top with a blue rag on his face. I mean, they was close enough. I said, I'm right here. He had to be right here with his money at. And he just looked at me and said, yeah, I got your ass now. And it just lit up. Blah, 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 blah. I try to run. And I know it, I look up. I'm up under the car now. My bottom body is under the car. So my homie them, they done shot the car up, hit it 11 times. Nothing got hit but me. You see what I'm saying? And I heard my homies and them crank the car up. I see the Bronco riding off real slow. So they cranked it. So that go to show you, just because you got a gun on you, don't mean it's going to save you. You see what I'm saying? Everybody got their day.
Whoever get the drop.
Whoever get they had the drop on them, you know? And as they riding off, you know, my homies cranking up the car. They don't know where I went. They think I ran away. They don't know I'm laying under the car. So I had to beat on the car like, you know, I ain't finna get shot and ran over. You know what I mean? They don't do me in like that. So they come out. Yeah, I got 6 inches of hair. I mean, I'm hip, so I'm just thankful it don't bother me. So, you know, they come out and, you know, they standing over me. It's blood everywhere. And I knew something was wrong because my legs felt like they was bent. But when I looked down, it was straight. And I'm like, oh man. So I told my guy, I said, hey Lord, you know, have we talked then? You know, Lord meant something different when you say Lord now. You know, when they say it out there, right?
I already know.
I was like, hey Lord, something ain't right. They're like, no bro, you know, you done been shot before, you gonna be all right. You done been shot so many times. I said, no, this ain't right, bro. Like, I can't get up. And they was like, man, Lord, just be cool, man. So now all the neighbors coming out, I said, man, look, do me a favor. I can't live like this, though. So I asked my bro, I said, man, just grab my burner, you know, hit me in the head real quick. And he like, no, Lord, I can't do that, man. I see him, he started crying. He like, no, I say, man, bro, when you live like this, kill him, you know what I'm saying? And then everybody came out, and you know, and that's when they took, you know, I told them to get up out of here, take it and get up out of here, whatever. And then it was 2 weeks later, I woke up in ICU, it seemed like a nightmare. And that's when the sister across the street from me, named Jazz, and shout out to her. She came to my hospital bed 'cause she used to watch me on the block. She know I looked out for the blocks. At this time, I had these blocks. I had like 3, 4 blocks. The bro taking his mine. You know what I'm saying? And so she came to me and she said, "Do you know who you are?" And I'm so slow. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a Vice Lord." She was like, "No." She like, "No, do you know your nation? Do you know we call it the Vice Lord Nation." Right. So she asked, she said, "No, do you know who you are?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, African American." And that's when she took me to Deuteronomy 28. She took me to Isaiah.
A woman.
And it was a sister. It was
powerful right there. You already know. You already know. See that?
It was so man. Most high used who else. So with that, you know, somebody.
Well, I'm quite sure you heard some of the arguments with me and the women.
Oh, I see.
When they say the woman can't teach the Bible or nothing like that. Now here it is. I'm meeting a brother who got turned on through a sister.
She basically saved my life.
Do you remember the year of this?
This was 95.
Oh, so you've been in the truth since 95?
Yeah, 95.
Okay.
Maybe 26 years.
Yeah, that's powerful, man.
Yeah.
So from there, you go where? From there? You started studying more about the Bible?
Yeah, she would come pick me up on the Sabbath. I found out Friday night was the Sabbath. So it's crazy because I was still trying to, at this time I'm in the chair. And it was crazy because I'm going to be honest. I tried to straddle the fence, as they say, because I was still had that in my blood, right? But I believe at this point I'm an Israelite. All the stuff that she took me, and she took me to some history stuff. And then eventually she took me to her, so she did do a protocol, but eventually she took me to her husband. Right. Her husband started teaching me hands-on. But then she would take me, and she'd take me to the IOG with Brother Bowie, Okay. It's one of the Hebrew Israelite camps out of Chicago. And, I still had this phobia where I didn't want to be in public. I'm just there to die. And everybody was in war real bad. So I wasn't comfortable with really being in public. So I would sit in the park a lot on Saturday, and Brother Bowie and the elders would bring the loudspeakers out for me and sit them in the parking lot so I could hear the lesson. Because they knew I didn't want to come in. I wasn't coming in yet. So every Sabbath for about a year or so, they came and they would bring the speakers in the parking lot. And me and the sister would sit. She would sit in the parking lot with me in the car. We read scriptures and listen to the lesson. So that's how I came into it.
Oh, okay. So what are you doing today? As far as through your experience, what do you teach these young kids that's coming up, that's trying to be what you used to be? Yes. Man, to be honest with you, I just did a video about this, that I had to admit that lately I had kind of been slacking up. I've done a lot of debates and other stuff, and sometimes you can get sidetracked.
Absolutely.
Like, it can be edifying, it can help, but that wasn't my call. My call was to get these brothers off the street. That's where I've been. Where people look at them as savages. People act, these your kids. Like I was saying, like if a lot of these men out here was taking care of their kids, I'm gonna be honest, man, we kind of partially responsible for this. Our generation, them our kids out there. It ain't like all us, we was all using rubbers all the time. We don't know which one of them running around is all the time. So if their brother, get out there and take care of responsibility, we wouldn't have that problem. But being that we do have that problem, and the scriptures told us we was gonna have that problem, coming from a Hebrew Israelite perspective. You know what I'm saying? My number one goal when I came into this and I got to the point where I wanted to start teaching, I just didn't want to just do the regular traditional living as a commandment keeper. I wanted to make it useful, practical. You know what I'm saying? And so, we opened up a community center. That was one of the first things we did. I was doing the anti-gang violence activism thing. So I got some things under my belt because it actually worked as an advantage because the cats knew me from the streets. So like, this cat ain't pretending. He was, you know what I'm saying? So if they looking at me like, if I can get on that, let me get on that. And I think that matters sometimes because look, everybody is cut from a different cloth and they can serve their purpose.
Absolutely.
Some people come from the Fortune 500 companies, bro. Some people come from the more college scene, but you got some that come from the gutter, right? And to these young brothers on the streets, they really ain't trying to hear them. You see what I'm saying? But they still serve their purpose. Don't downplay them too. They want somebody they can look at and say, man, he can talk my language. You know, so that's really been my goal, bro. I say since at least, I've been teaching now for about 2020 for at least 10 years, 11, 12 years.
So you have a camp and all that? You have a camp?
Right now, but I fellowship with a camp. Like I said, I originally started 20-something, 25 years. I was a member of Israel. I opened up my own ministry. We got ours, the Wallz of Jericho. As you see it on, this is my media, Hebrews in the Hood.
Yeah.
WOJ Wallz of Jericho is biblical and historical studies. So, like, we got a property here on the east side, over not too far from Terrytown, about 75 Cottage. We got a property over there. We just got to work on getting it renovated. We got 2 storefronts and all that. So, in the meantime, a lot of my stuff is online. Other than the camp that we fellowship with on the Sabbath, that's the ICLJ, Israel Church of Jesus in Gary, Indiana. We got our own school, like literally a school. It's kindergarten through,
you got the actual
kindergarten through 10th grade. So we like the only Hebrew Israelite school.
12th grade, right?
Yeah, kindergarten to 12th grade. As far as you know, we the only Hebrew Israelite school in America. So it's like how the Catholics got Catholic school. We bought an old school. And then we got the school. Nice. Oh, it's a real school. I might take you through that tomorrow if you want to go through there.
Yes, I want to go with the brother though to the because you're gonna be speaking, right?
Yeah, you can do both of them.
Yeah.
Let
me ask you, is Chicago?
Oh, so let me say one more thing because you asked me. So right now we getting back on track with that. Of course, we do the food and clothing giveaway out there again. So we about to start back doing it for the winter because this winter about to be real crucial out here. So we gonna try to do soup kitchens.
In terms of what? Like
soup kitchens?
When you say
just the
it's
weather,
about to be
man.
crucial.
The homelessness, the weather.
I thought you was talking about like COVID and stuff like that.
Well, that too.
Yeah, that too. But you know, that COVID thing, man, that's a whole nother, man. Don't get me started on that, man.
Well, I heard.
I already know how you feel about the whole vaccine, man. Look, if y'all gonna be putting guns in people to take vaccine, that's the only way you get me to. No, Hebrews, we don't play that anyway. I'm not putting none of that in me, man. I don't even take flu shots.
Right.
I don't trust none of that, man. You got to be crazy. And so what's next? And you can see how they setting it up. You know, in a minute, they're going to say, in order for you to go to work, you got to take this shot. In order for your kids to go to school, you got to take, see what I'm saying?
In New York, yeah.
No, see, and that means if they didn't hit New York, they're going to be hitting the shot with it in a minute.
So is like you was just talking about, it's going to be crucial in the wintertime. It really get cold like that, bro? Because I heard about it when they said the windy city of Chicago.
I'm going to tell you, man, now the East Coast, y'all get some nasty weather too. Y'all ain't too far off.
Yeah.
But it's something different about Midwest though. It's bone hurting. It hurts your bones.
Well, we was good last year. We didn't get no snow last year in New York. Nah, we got sprinkles, but nothing we accumulated.
Man, you know.
Last year for us, we got like how about 10, 15 below zero?
20. Remember, it went a week straight. It was a week straight. We had 20 below zero. Because remember, it got so bad that they were saying you couldn't go outside with longer than a minute, or your skin or crack and all that.
Winchester hit 150 one night. I worked on I was at work one night, and I couldn't go out there, you know. So.
And that's what makes it worse is the wind. The Chicago get real windy. So that's why we call it a hawk. Because it ain't just cold, but you can feel it packing. It's like a hawk. So when you add that to that cold, man, and you see homeless people out there, bro, like it's impossible to survive that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it take a lot for Chicago to shut down because we used to snow blizzards and weather. So I knew last year when I wasn't seeing no cars ride up down the street, I said, oh, it's cold out there, Joe. Wow. I was looking out the window scared, man. It wasn't no squirrels, wasn't no stray cats, wasn't no nothing, Joe. Wasn't none of them going. So yeah, man, this winter is gonna be real crucial, man. So I'm telling y'all, man, go check on the elderly. You know the Midwest get bad, but anywhere where it's getting cold, man, go check. We got to get back to checking on our elderly in the community because a lot of them living by themselves. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be rough for us. And then, like you brought us out with this whole COVID thing being added to it, I just think it's about to get real rough for us. So all the debating and stuff is cool and us arguing about the different theology.
Like I told him, I said, man, we do that for entertainment.
Yeah.
That's really entertainment for me. So let me ask you, Garfield. Garfield is out there and he's really shaking up the foundation of the Hebrew Israelites, man. A lot of brothers is like ducking him. A lot of brothers.
Is he really?
Well, a lot of brothers is running
Unless
and
he's
ducking
shaking up social
Garfield.
media Israel.
You know, do you take his scholarship serious, or do we have something to fight for? Like,
Okay. I know this just I know his head about to explode when he sees it. This gonna pop his top. But for y'all that don't know, me and Garfield got a long history. Before he was on YouTube, before any of that, before Saab, brought him on the scene, Garfield been around. Garfield, and I'm under the priesthood, so I will not lie, and Garfield has admitted it. Y'all probably just didn't know who he was talking about. Garfield, the whole reason he started Dagger Squad, in reality, is because of me. Dagger Squad, the whole reason Garfield started going hard at the Hebrews is because of me. He said it on his show some months back, I think that was at the end of last summer. He said on his show, yeah, Mikael, because he got this thing when he get disrespectful. And he started talking about I'm the cripple out of Chicago and he got shot up and all that. That's because he was in his feelings.
Absolutely.
Right, that was all because he was in his feelings. But no, I'll hold it against him. I wish he was here. I was gonna give you some brotherly love. But yeah, he told a story one day on his show, and I'm pretty sure he ain't gonna lie about it. We was on Debate Talk for You. This was about 8 years ago. You remember?
Absolutely.
And he was on there trying to cut people up on the Bible. Somehow I wound up on there. And because I used to debate on South Showtime Debate Talk for You. Mm-hmm. And so, we did a little spar and he thought he was on something. So I can't remember what it was, but I basically chopped him. I left him a nugget. I cut all his lambs off, right? And he never got over that. He admitted. He said, Mikael, Hebrews in the Hood, is the reason I got on that Bible because I said it'll never happen again. I embarrassed him. He couldn't answer a question. I think I asked him when was the prophet Isaiah written or something like that. So I asked him how did the scriptures know, how did Isaiah know that the earth was a circle, was a circular form, and he couldn't answer it.
Absolutely.
And then I asked him something about Daniel. If y'all ever noticed, Garfield started his Bible bashing with who? The prophet Daniel. Because he wanted to disprove the prophecies Babylonian, Persian,
his
Roman.
whole thing was to destroy the prophecies.
Captivities. That was due to our interaction. When I told him, how can you go against this? How can you go against this when it's recording history that it actually happened after it was prophesied? So, of course, at the time he started, I guess he was Googling something. And he found something where they say it was times in history where people wrote stuff after it happened and claimed it to be prophecy. Right. So he went through the whole thing. So, to make a long story short, not only that, the man ran from 2 debates with me live on TV. Come up. I hate to do you like I did Garfield, but I got to.
But no, go ahead, go in, bro.
Okay. You would say the book of Job was probably written, what you said, about 3,500 years ago?
Absolutely.
Because some claim that it might be the oldest text.
Yeah.
Somewhere up in there, right?
Yeah.
Give or take.
3,600 BC.
All right, give or take. So I want you to answer this for me. Now, mind you, we didn't have no technology back then. Right. It wasn't no machines that could go into deep water and nothing like that. Read that, bro. I want you to explain this to me.
This is Job 38:16. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea, or hast thou walked in the search of the depth?
Now, my question is, how would Job know over 3,000 years ago that it was springs in the deep? They just find that out now when they have to send a submarine or a little drone down because the pressure is too high that it would kill you. Who could have went down all the way that far, hundreds or thousands of feet down, and seen those springs in the deep? How would Job know this without any technology?
That's deep right there.
Like real talk. And for anybody else, I want y'all to explain.
I never studied that part. I never got to that.
I'm gonna tell you guys,
That's deep, though.
Since you got the real Hebrews in the building.
These Chicago brews look different, man. We go back, Joe. I know y'all did the history with the whole 60s. And,
So now let me ask you a question here. pertaining to the flood. Because I know you believe in this right here.
Oh, boy.
When the Most High came and destroyed everybody except for Ham, Shem, and Japheth.
Here you go.
Yeah, I know you heard it. Except for Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right?
Okay.
And the wives. Who was left to populate the earth?
Wait, you said he destroyed everybody in the wives. No, it was 8 people came through the flood.
Right.
So
who was
that
left?
each man had a wife.
Right.
That those 3 men, they 3 wives populated the earth.
Now, who was those 3 men?
Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Tell me which one of them was a Hebrew Israelite.
Hebrew Israelites wasn't even a nation yet. They were Shemitic. But I will tell you that it lets you know that Shem, it say that they worship the God of Shem. So it was already a direct bloodline before the flood, pre-flood. And that's why a lot of people now, I'm not sure, I know Mighty Hebrew, he kind of got a different outlook on certain things. But my standpoint and understanding, as far as when you see the sons of men and the sons of God, the sons of men were actually Cain's seed, and the sons of God was come through Shem and Seth's seed, right? And we was always, that bloodline was always considered God's from day one. If you get to, what is it, Psalms 83? What is it, Psalms 83 it is, or Psalms 84? 82. Give me that Psalms 82.
82, verse 6.
Yeah, give me that Psalms 82, verse 6. So when it say that the sons of men looked on the daughters of God, saw that they was fat and they went into them, it was saying that that royal blood seed, which will eventually come down to the nation of Israel, Jacob and his children. Read that real quick.
This is Psalms 82 and 6. I have said, ye are all gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes.
Now this is talking about the nation of Israel. The men are the other nations, right? So this thing always went back. Now, that don't mean that it wasn't giants on the earth and things of that nature. I just don't believe that it had to do with freaky angels. You see what I'm saying? Angels was around. They were also called sons of God. So you just got to know where to separate, because we can actually follow that bloodline all the way throughout the whole Old Testament, even to the New Testament. I know some of it is Tanakh only, but
Okay.
so yeah.
So let me ask you, what is the problem? What is the beef that you brothers have with Africa?
He picked the wrong one. I take it. Well,
See, I don't know what Hebrew you are, so that's good. I'm just asking.
You got one what? Oh, you got one what's under there? I love one what. Shalom to my brothers.
That's my brothers.
We all brothers, man.
But look, here's the thing. Now on a serious note.
Yeah, because I never really built with you on this, so that's
Yeah,
why
it's cool. It's cool, and it's a lot of people who have misnomers as far as like the. I don't really like all the terminologies. You got One West, or some people say New York-based Israelites, and you always think of the ISUPK. Shout out to my man Captain Zariat. That's my dude right there. And they go to 69 when they school opened up, and then of course eventually y'all know the history that a bunch of other schools broke off from that. Where it was similar in Chicago, but not similar. Because you got to think about it, that was 69. Ben Amin and them.
Left in 67.
They 68 or 67?
67.
They left and went to Dimona in 67. So how long was they around before they left and went to Israel? So it's been Israelites in Chicago for a long time, going all the way back to the late 1800s.
Absolutely.
Like our teacher, Brother Bowie, was taught by Brother Stern. Brother Stern was taught by Casey, and Casey before that was Prophet Cherry. So we go back to the 1800s. So that's why you see that some of the concepts of the Chicago-based Israelites are a little different than some of the concepts of what you call One West Israelites out of New York. Like, for the most part, most of us don't believe in a chart, a 12 tribes chart.
Yeah.
We just believe we are the lost tribes of Israel. For the most part, we believe this for the most part, although there's exceptions, the southern kingdom is over here in the west, which comprises of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. It's arguable if Simeon and other people came over eventually, you see what I'm saying? So those kind of fundamental things are different. Of course, we agree on all of the laws, statutes, and commandments, and we are the people. And another thing, a lot of times, most of the Chicago-based Israelites basically call Caucasians or white people Gentiles, whereas the one West call them Esau, Edomites. But at the same time, we don't deny that Esau is whitish looking too. We just don't believe all white people come out of one man.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Just like all black people don't come out of one man. You see what I'm saying? So those really the only fundamental differences. But other than that, it's what was your initial question?
About the Africans. What is the problem with the
I'm glad you
Africans?
said that. So, for example, the brothers whose house we in right now, beloved Prince Asiel. Prince Asiel. The term that was used on them back in the 60s and a lot of the other Israelite temples and camps out of Chicago, before there was ever a term Black Hebrew Israelite, which is actually an FBI coined term. It's an FBI coined term. It's racist. And people that say it, like the urban apologists, they do it on purpose to get under our skin. That's another one. Yeah, we got y'all too. Yeah.
We got that like the vocab belongs.
You know, hold up.
I said it.
Let me say something. You know, I was reading his book earlier.
Oh, you ready to go?
He wrote a book. You
About
up on
our
urban
originals.
politics. It's called Black Hebrew Israelites versus Barack Obama.
Yeah.
I'm reading the book. I've been new about it.
Yeah.
But you know I'm in his book.
Yeah.
He put you in the book.
I am in Israel, out of Chicago, from Israel. God said my whole whip. Yes, I like that.
Put
Yeah.
your picture in there?
No, he ain't have it. His
soft.
daddy had my social
How
security.
do you feel that he
Some of that
had?
had my social security
Hold
that
on. How do you feel? How do you feel that he got you in his book?
That just go to show you that they building a fire on us. See, this is why I tried to warn brothers about not being spooky. Now, me and Vocab have talked. We talked in person. He came to Chicago. I give it to him. He did a seminar at a black church here, right? At this point, his book was already released. So, you know, people sending me screenshots. Like, man, you know, this dude got you in your book. So I'm like, oh, no, I ain't going. Then I heard he was coming to Chicago. So, you know, we squadded up. He came, and then you gonna come to a black church in my neighborhood trying to warn them of Hebrew Israelites, saying don't listen to them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so you don't want them to know they're God's people.
definitely.
You want them in there eating pork chops and all that type of stuff, just with the slave religion, right?
Absolutely.
So we showed up at his seminar. We came in there, man, sat right in the front row. He was up in his little suit preaching. He looked down, I seen him start sweating bullets. We ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do nothing.
That's the
But afterwards, we went to his little book signing. We talked to him and we showed him hospitality. We ain't cuss him out.
So, I'm gonna give you a similar. I'm gonna paraphrase it. What's your next goal? Like I heard you speaking about you got a storefront and other things. What's your major goal after you handle that? Is it to leave America or stay in America? What's your understanding of that manifestation dealing with the exodus of so-called Negroes over here in America?
Well, I mean, as far as, you know, I believe
You see a lot of people leaving America right
Yeah.
now, going to Ghana.
Ghana, especially Ghana. They like
going
Ghana.
deep. They going deep.
me, where I stand with it, I have no problem with brothers being proactive.
Okay.
You know, especially, you know, brothers that you deal with, our beloved brother now, Prince and them, like, you know, my God brother is from their camp, you know, Kingdom of Yahweh or whatever. So they always had that let's move around mentality, right? I am a staunch believer. I'm a Messianic Israelite, so I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in Yeshua HaMashiach, and I believe he is our Savior and Messiah. Do that mean I got to sit around and do nothing? I think that's dangerous. You see what I'm saying? I don't see nowhere where it say if you expect the Messiah to come, you should still do nothing. Like you just wasting a slot. Like somebody else could have been doing that. You see what I'm saying? So my goal actually is for us, basically, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. Before I could be thinking about Africa or Israel, I gotta think about Chicago. There's too much murder going on here. You know, we get a bad rap. We ain't no different than Baltimore, DC, Philly.
I was going to ask you that too. Yeah, I was going to ask you that. First of all, I'm just coming on Instagram, Sarnetta. I'm deep in Chicago right now with the Hebrews in the hood. That's what they go by, the Hebrews in the hood. Your brother Sarnetta in the shop. Brother,
you live now?
yeah, I'm live on Instagram. Brother, they give a bad rep to Chicago, especially the media. What's my brother's name? Spike Lee. He did the movie.
Oh,
It's a bad rap. It's a bad rap that he gives Chicago.
I was supposed to be in that.
When you look at that movie, brother, how deep it was, or was it just fiction, or was it just a lot of lies going through the movie? You know, because a lot of people fear Chicago.
Yeah.
When I told my people I was coming to Chicago, everybody that I told me, brother, please. Even some brothers told me, brother, sorry, please don't go. Don't go. I kid you not. And I was like, damn, why are they doing this? Because people die in every city that you go to.
Every ghetto we in, we die.
Every city you go to, people dying. People getting killed by their own because of the lack of knowledge or the lack of jobs or, you know, the situation that you in.
Absolutely.
So what is it about Chicago, brother? Does it really live up to that rep that the media and Spike Lee will put on it?
All right, first of all, I'd like to say, let me address Spike Lee. I don't know if you're going to want to edit this out. But,
No, I ain't going to edit it out.
Oh, okay. Well, when he came out with that goofy movie, Chirac, right, and that's what it is, it's a goofy movie. I was supposed to be like a little extra in it. If y'all, any of y'all that bear and suffered through that entire movie, you'll see it was a dude in a wheelchair, right? He filmed that a lot of the scenes in that movie on the block I got shot on. Remember the story I was telling you about the grammar school?
Mm-hmm.
They were shot on the block with the grammar school.
Wow. Okay.
So I was out there because, you know, that's my neighborhood. So I was out there, and I had got cool with his son Jackson Lee, right? Jackson Lee is a really cool young brother. I think he gonna be the next big director because he learned from his dad. I won't take that from Spike. But when I seen the script, don't ask me how, but I was able to see a little bit of the script. And I read that and I said, man, it's some folly. I don't want no parts of it. Because I felt like they was making light of people out here really dying. I'm still losing homies to this. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it real. Chicago is very violent. It is bad. But the way they say it, they act like you gonna die as soon as you get off the plane. Right. Like you just gonna drop dead the minute you get on the E-way. It is not a fairy tale like that.
Right.
It's no different than St. Louis. It's no different than Baltimore, DC, LA,
same thing in Philly,
Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? But I think the only difference about Chicago South is it's such a unique. It has a unique history, especially when it comes to gangsters. You know, you got the oldest gangs. You know, a lot of people think it's LA, but the oldest gangs come from Chicago. That's
I would say I thought it come from LA. To me, you look like a brother that's from LA, brother.
Don't say who I think you say.
Oh, you already know.
They already messed
Snoop Dogg.
I'm playing games.
You say Snoop with a little bit of net.
I mean, you could just take something as simple as what I was.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's about the way you move and the way you talk and all that.
My mama even say that. She just watched Snoop movies and crack up laugh. But look, right? But you know, just the Vice Lords, for example. The Vice Lords came out in 1953. 53. Bro, you didn't get Bloods and Crips to what, the late 60s?
No,
the early 70s?
Yeah.
I was like the late
Like
70s.
Chicago, the gangs or the street organizations are so old that you actually see third and fourth generation baby lords and stuff running around. Like I got guys who granddaddies was Vice Lords. Daddies was Black Gangster Disciples. You see what I'm saying? Grandkids and all. So it's old. It's like engraved in the culture. So I think that just like I would say the gangs in LA are known for wilding out, I think the difference with the Chicago, if you want to say street organizations or whatever, the reason I really don't like using gangs because it kind of sounds like, you know, like they wild animals or something. But they take stuff to extremes. You know, my man Chief Malik, Jeff Ford, y'all know him, Black Keystone. Y'all know what he was on. You know, they try to lock, they lock him up thinking he gonna blow up an airline. You know, get money from Gaddafi.
You talking about Jeff Ford?
Jeff Ford. That's Chief Malik.
As a matter of fact, since we here, here's a question right here. There's definitely a lot of history in Chicago, and you just mentioned about Jeff Ford. So a lot of people don't know one of his mentors was the late Nasi Yaakov, that came from out of one of the oldest temples in America, known as Bnei Zaquin, here in Chicago. Could you give us a little bit of that history with Jeff Ford and the connection with the Hebrew Israelites?
Well, I can't get exactly too deep until I write, until I write some stuff, because street politics is still street politics. But I will put it like this: you're not off center with what you said.
Absolutely.
The Hebrew Israelites in this city has been in the area almost every organization and foundation. It don't mean they was involved in criminal activity.
Absolutely.
But they've always been around. Yeah, you even had a branch at one point. You had a branch of the Blackstones called the Israelite Stone.
Right. Yeah, the Israelite Stone.
To this day, you still got a branch of the Blackstones that's called Rubes. Do you know where Rubes come from?
Where?
Reubenites. So their chief is called Chief Rube. Them the Reubenites. Y'all think that's a coincidence? Rube from 12 tribes of Israel. Chief Reuben. Right, the Reubenites. And so, then the viceroys, how they think, that's in it. Even the folks. I mean, y'all think it's a coincidence they got that big old 6-point star?
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And the people say it's a 5-point star, but they go. That whole thing has always had like a spiritual connotation to it, leading back to that land over there that we call their own home.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So Israelites was always around. So yeah, that's just that. It's just always been around.
It's I'm never short with words, but it's just an honor just to have this energy in here. You know what I'm saying? That we went from the shot Greb, our Prime Minister, International Ambassador Prince Asiel, to the Crown Prince, Nasi, Yosef, myself. Y'all know this, the mighty Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? It's just an honor that we're seeing Israel resurrect all over the world. We're seeing it right now. What would you say to the House of Consciousness about, the negative connotations that they get about the Hebrew when it comes to the Hebrews? What do you suggest to make certain changes with social media when it pertains to the Hebrew Israelites? What would you say? How would we make a change when it comes to manifesting a better understanding of Hebrew Israelites versus just this, we just on the street corner, rah, 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 the white man's the devil, and that's that? Could you explain how we can show more benefits when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites?
Most definitely, excellent question, Hebrew, excellent question. Well, first of all, I just like to say, and this is honest, we have our little battles, the Comedics, the Hebrews, that basically became gangbanging.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I see a cat with an anchor on in the stove, it's ready to go up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, so let me have the tassels on or something. They looking like, we side-eyed.
To make my baby tassels look. Yeah.
And so look, right, I think honestly, the whole thing is you can have your own ideology.
Absolutely.
But are you doing something? Are you doing something for our people? All that you can read a million books, you can write 20,000 books, you can know all the verses in the scriptures. If you're not proactive, you're not getting in where you fit in, and none of that don't mean nothing anyway. And as far as the brothers out there, you saying that we got a negative spotlight on us, the brothers don't turn up.
Absolutely. I'm
gonna keep it real. You can't tell Israel to chill because they doing what they've been commissioned to do. Everybody got to serve their purpose. Don't worry about the next man. Just do what you're supposed to do. Now, what I would say is we need to put more spotlights on the other stuff that we do.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? They don't know that we literally feed the community. We don't just do it on Thanksgiving. We don't just give out turkeys because we don't believe in that anyway.
So you saying we ain't need no brown?
No, we ain't need no browns, man. You see what I'm saying? This is our lifestyle. It tell us that charity covers the multitude of sins. You see what I'm saying? And so it's in us to want to give to our people. You feel me? We also do the clothing thing. We got to set up more educational systems, and we need to get back to this point where we need to start helping each other from a financial standpoint as far as building businesses. Man, we got some geniuses out there. Y'all think these cats, do y'all know some of these cats whipping these drugs up are chemists?
Absolutely.
These are chemists. They geniuses, man. You see what I'm saying? So we got to just start looking at more of the positive stuff we do Instead of, oh man, that's the Hebrew Israelites, they radical, they racist, they're cult, they this and that, They even say that about us and they call us moderates.
Absolutely.
How we moderated and we still a cult? I don't heard of a moderate cult. It sounds like Republicans or something.
Besides the Republicans and
So
Democrats.
basically, that's what it is, sorry. We got to put more of a spotlight on the things that we do that's proactive instead of just the antics and all that type of stuff. Because brothers going to do what they got to do anyway. And I got to give a shout out to my brother. He down right now. He can't, he chilling right now. But my brother will be back moving around. Shout out to my brother Balthazar. I love you. I'm from AOC Chicago. That's my brother, man. I told you I was thinking about you, so I was going to make sure I do that. Also, shout out to my brother Nazariah from ITR, too.
All right, that's what I was getting ready to ask you. In closing, we did an hour. We got a nice hour show in here. So in closing, brother, what is your closing remarks? All right. Let the people know where they can find you at. Do you have a channel, social media, stuff like that?
Yeah, my YouTube channel, our media channel is Hebrews in the Hood. As you can see, I got it for short right here, Brews in the Hood. Just type in Hebrews with a Z, not an S. Channel been kind of stagnant and dead. I'm just getting back to posting videos. So it ain't got but a few thousand subscribers. You can also reach us as far as lessons, history lessons, and biblical lessons and things of that nature. Oh, also on Hebrews in the Hood, we show our work. We do lectures. We'll come out and speak or whatever. Just hit me up on my email, MikeWard32212@gmail.com. And you can also find us at Wallz of Jericho on YouTube. We got a Wallz of Jericho channel, which we just opened up, and we have Cassius Wallz of Jericho. That's another fraction of our Wallz of Jericho channel. So type in Cassius, like Cassius Clay, Cassius Israel, and then put in Wallz of Jericho. So you can reach us there. I also have a Wallz of Jericho Facebook group. So you can type in Wallz of Jericho on Facebook. And can y'all think anything else? Should I cover everything?
It's about to have fallen.
Oh, Wallz of Jericho have fallen. Yeah, that's what it say on Facebook.
Absolutely.
So and you will see me on Hebrews Hood on Facebook. But my name is Mikael Ben Israel, and that's about it. We also got albums dropping for Brews in the Hood. Keep your eye open.
We don't play no games.
We don't play no internet. Because he got that shy sound to it.
The Philly, with the Philly in the shop.
Hey, look, we gonna say drill. I was gonna say it's the real, not the drill. You kind of got that sound. We ain't on that this and then folks dig up courses, urinate on trees, and them gas.
Cause I don't wanna go into
So that's what we're trying to change.
I'm feeling like the chief priest Ezra Nehemiah.
That's what's up, brother.
I'm feeling
Appreciate
like
that.
the chief priest Ezra Nehemiah. I'm feeling like the chief priest Ezra Nehemiah. I'm feeling